So if you're watching a decent amount of calisthenics content online, you're probably familiar with like a million different cues and activations that people are telling you should be checking and minding while you're performing any kind of planche exercise. Now, if you're actually training, you'll quickly realize that keeping track of all these things while you're actually doing the exercise doesn't really work. You only have so much focus to invest into trying hard and keeping track of what every single part of your body is doing. So what I want to talk about today is evolving your cues over time, so that eventually you're only doing like a few, or even just like learning how to make the planche one smooth movement. So in previous videos we talked about some simple but useful cues and activations for our basic planche training. But let me talk about like evolving your cues and how a lot of things that you'll see on the checklist online can become one or two things. So a really good example is, we talk about how when we're using our straight arms, there's a whole lot of stuff that we want going on here, right? We want to be driving through the pinky side of our palm. We want our elbows facing out. We want our shoulders protracted. We want them depressed. We want to try to drive our spine up into the ceiling. Now, you're going to find that it's really hard to focus on all of those things at once. And even as you try harder, if you focus too much on one thing, the others start to slacken a little bit. And so what we want to do, we talked about this a little bit in our initial cues video, is that we want to find one cue that covers all those things. So remember I talked about we want to take our arm and try to move it all as one unit. So we want a line of tension through our arm, through the shoulder. And so externally rotating while driving our spine up into the air, that gets everything, and that covers all of our bases. And so that way, that big list of cues and activations for every single part of our arm, that becomes a checklist that we look at after we perform the movement so that we make sure everything's happening. But while we're doing the movement, we're just trying to do one smooth thing. And the same goes for our core as well. So we talked about how we want to be, you'll hear about, you want to have your core flexed, you want to have your butt cheeks squeezed, you want to have your lower back engaged. We talked about how when you think about sucking your tailbone up into you, you're doing all of those things. And so when you're sucking your tailbone into you, you're driving your hips towards your hands, you're engaging your core, you're engaging your butt cheeks.